What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the quickest and easiest way to import custom clothing into FiveM. Now, I was going to sit here and explain to you why it's better, but I figured why do that when I can just show you and you will absolutely understand 100% why. So, first things first, you're going to want to download the Ritzy tutorial pack in the description. Once that's done, it'll look exactly like this. So the first step that we're going to do is you're going to grab this My Clothing project and this Dash shortcut folder, and you're going to drag it to your desktop. After you do that, and do not worry, there's nothing inside of the project folder or the My Clothing folder. Absolutely nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this Dash shortcut. We're going to right click it and go to edit. And you're going to want to give yourself a little bit of working room on the left because we're going to be opening these two folders and pasting in here. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to open up the project folder, and right next to project up here, you just want to copy address, and right here it says enter your project folder path. You want to highlight it and replace it. Just paste. Do not, make sure you don't delete this CD right here, and also make sure that there's a space. So CD space and then your address of what we just did. And you want to do the same exact thing right below it. And that is it for the project folder. Now keep the Dash shortcut open, and we're going to be opening the My Clothing folder, and we're going to be doing the same exact thing, copying the address. And we're going to be replacing this right here. Enter your output folder path. And just Control V, and that's replaced. Also make sure there's an output right before that. Just make sure it's output space that. And if you accidentally do delete it, just make sure there's no space. Dash dash output. I just did that earlier when I was trying to make this tutorial, and just, yeah, it's not good. It just won't work, and it'll let you know. So after you do that, we're all done with this. You just want to save, Control S, whatever you please, and we are done with the shortcut. Close out of both folders. So our next step is open the project folder, and you'll see inside of the tutorial folder this GTA util. You want to open that, and just these four things right here, copy and paste into the project folder, and you can exit out of both. Now, if you're wondering what we just did with the shortcut, I'm about to show you. So you want to double click this shortcut and open it. Now there's going to be 1 to build clothing and 2 other thing. That's what it says right now, but I'll probably change the name of it before I release the video. It's still going to be number 2 though, so it doesn't matter. But we're going to start with number 2. We're going to, number 2, enter. And what this is doing is this is setting up your project folder to look like a clothing folder. And after that's done, press any key to continue, do as told, and we're going to go right back into that shortcut, and we're going to run build clothing. Click 1, enter. Any key to continue. Okay, so what we just did inside of your project folder, if you want to take a look, you open that, and then now we have a new project folder inside of the project folder. And before I continue, I'd like to point out this project folder on your desktop can be named anything, whatever you please. This is my folder up here, this IRP 2.0. I work for a public server as the clothing developer. This is just what I prefer having it. Mine looks the exact same of what we just did. So yeah, you can have this named whatever you want. The only reason it's called project is because of what's inside of this, which is project. Now, if you change the name of this, you have to change the name in the shortcut. I prefer leaving it as project. I like the name of it. It makes sense to me. Just keep it project. So if you look inside, you have MPF free mode, MPF free mode, P. So what that is is it's female props, male props. And there's just going to be all this stuff, accessories, masks, decals, shoes, hair, bags, head inside of props are inside of the hats are inside of the props. This head inside the male is just like custom faces. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There's in my clothing. I don't have anything in there. J-Bib is shirts. Lower is pants. Task is vests. Teeth is necklaces, and upper is like gloves and stuff. Arms and gloves. So, and I might as well just run through just in case anybody's new to this. Inside of the male props, you have earrings, goggles. These are hats right here inside of props. Head, hip, not sure what that is. Don't use that. Don't use that. Don't use that. Left wrist. This is for like watches and things. Mouth, don't use that. Right foot, don't use that. Hand, don't use that. And this is your other wrist. And these two I don't use either. So, after going through that, you can open up your My Clothing if you'd like to take a look. It looks exactly like a resource folder, because that's exactly what it is. It's just not in the resources yet. This is what is, so what we just did is anything that you put into this project folder is going to be swung over and put into here, and it's going to be streamed, which this will be inside of your resource folder, and that's what makes all of this amazing. So, our next step will be going into Photoshop, or whatever you use to make your custom images. If you have whatever you want to use, feel free to. But I did put a plain black t-shirt PNG inside of the tutorial folder, which this is it right here. This is a texture to a t-shirt in GTA, as well as I put along the model. So don't worry if you're like, oh no, I don't have a t-shirt model. I got you. Don't worry. So do whatever you want to it. I also included inside of the tutorial folder this Benny shirt, and the only reason I did that is because when I make my clothing, I occasionally do use this, because I will put it over top of the shirt that I'm working on, and I will turn the opacity down. That way I can see where I'm working on the shirt, so you don't have to go in and out of your server every single time. Because if you make a change to clothing and after you replace it, you can't, it doesn't happen live. You have to, replace the folder and then restart your server, go in. If it's not like the way you wanted it, you got to go out, make sure it's closed. It's just a hassle. So this makes life a lot easier. This is, by the way, this is the front of the shirt right here, and this is the back of the shirt. This is the top, upper, like right on the back of the neck, and this is right on the chest. So you can do whatever you want to this. Like I said, if you have something else that you want to do, feel free. This is just me showing you an example. So this is the shirt that we're going to put in right here. Little X cat right here. So after you do that, whatever you make, you can put rainbows or gang logos, whatever it may be. Even PD shirts. I've made plenty of PD clothing as well. After you're done doing that, you want to save it. We'll get out of Photoshop. And after that, we will be opening OpenIV. You want to go to your mods folder. And if you're unfamiliar with OpenIV, it's really easy to set up. You literally just download it. There's a video. There's probably a 30-second video on how to set up OpenIV. It's pretty much just getting your GTA folder, and then it'll look like this. So you go to mods, and what you can do is you can go to where your project folder is on your desktop that we made earlier with all these, all this right here. You can just drag it, or actually, look at me, rookie move. When you open out OpenIV, obviously make sure you're in editor mode, and also make sure you're in the mods folder. You want to drag the project folder right there into your OpenIV. Now inside of here, you won't need any of that. You'll just need the project folder. So we're going to work with this. So we're going to go through the project folder, the mail components, and JBib, because that is what we just worked on. So now we want to make a new folder, and we're going to name it 0. Anything that you put in these folders, they have to be in order and always start with 0. So now that we have our 0 folder, I did also put, actually we can go into the 0 folder that we just made, and if you want, you can, or actually if this is your first time and you don't have any YTD files, you can open the tutorial pack that I sent, and we'll just use I already have the Bad Cat YTD. So this YTD right here is what we just made. But say, you know, if you pulled over this YTD, you could double click it, and up here it says replace, and right here is where you can find whatever image that you just made that you want to put into your server. So whatever image you choose, you should see it after you click OK, and then you want to save. So, and then you want to obviously name that 0. So next step, I have the t-shirt model inside of the tutorial folder as well. Once you put that into OpenIV, you want to rename that to 0 to match. So model 0 t-shirt, this one, will be these textures in here. These textures in here will be what is on that t-shirt model. And you can have up to 27, or from what I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can have up to 27 or 28. I think it's 28 because 0. You always start with 0. But it goes up to 27. 0 to 27, and then if you go up to that, you have to make another model. It would just be, if you wanted to add on, like if you wanted to use a different, like a long sleeve, you would get the long sleeve, and it would be 1. And then all the textures in that would be folder 1. And so everything will correspond, everything will match. So after doing what we just did, you will put this to the side, actually open up the project folder on your desktop that we just made. Want to put this over here. This is exactly how I do it. If you do whatever you please. But so once you open up your project folder on your desktop, you want to go through it, go to your mail free mode, components, JBib, and see we have nothing in here. Well, if you grab these two, this is the model in the folder. You want to grab those and put them just like that. So now we have your OpenIV, and your project folder on your desktop will be identical for these don't have to be identical. This is the only one that actually matters. This is what is going to be connected to your server. If these numbers aren't in order, like say you missed 2, like you put in 10 shirts and you 0, 1, and then 3, it will not let you start your server until you fix it. So just make sure you're going in order. We can actually close out of, or I'm going to just minimize it. We don't need OpenIV anymore. So now that that's done, we have that. I'm going to minimize it. You can close it. After you do that, and I'm only going to, you don't have to have this open, but I'm just going to show you. Actually, no, we're not going to open that. So what you're going to do is go back into your shortcut. So like earlier, anything in the project folder goes into this folder, your clothing folder. So when you open up the shortcut and you want to press 1, enter. And whenever if you put in like a few things, like a few items of clothing, this could, every once in a while, it'll take a little bit longer than normal. Don't be alarmed. It's completely fine. Nothing's broken. It'll tell you if something's wrong, and it'll tell you exactly what to fix. But once it says press any key to continue, that means you are good to go. But that was just me showing you that it does correspond, that anything in this does go to this. So as you see, these were not just in here at all. So after you built the clothing, it put these right here. Well, what are these? And this is your resource folder, by the way. I just don't have it in a resource folder, but I will do that and show you exactly what to do when you put it in your resource folder. So this is exactly what we just put in here. This is exactly what your server will be running off of. So what you want to do, if you have a private server, I don't need that. So I have a okay, so this is an old server of mine that I don't use anymore, but it's just for an example anyways. So if you want to, when you want to, and you think you're ready to put it into your server, you want to go into your server, resources, and you want to drag this My Clothing folder into your resources. Now, after doing that, you're going to have to go back to your shortcut, or not, actually not yet. After you put the My Clothing into the resource folder, you want to open it. And once you're right here, inside of your My Clothing resource folder, you want to copy the address. You want to go back into your shortcut. And right here at the My Clothing, what we did earlier, you're just going to replace that with now the new resources My Clothing. And save, just to make sure. Save. So now, anything that you put into this project folder, I mean, even before, but now it's going into the server. So now, like, you're good to go, pretty much, at this point. This is when you have it. Everything's being streamed. You're all good. For future reference, if you say you didn't want that shirt and you wanted a different shirt and you started up your server, this cat shirt, in my case, if I wanted to replace it and I did that, these will still stay in your resources. But if you deleted this stream folder and then ran the shortcut build again, it's pretty much like clearing your cache. Nothing, like, just because you delete something in here doesn't delete it out of the server. You actually have to delete the stream folder and build your clothing if you want to do that. So no big deal, but yeah. So all said and done, there's only one thing left to do, and that would be start the server. After your server is all ready to go, you know what to do next. That is open FiveM. Now, of course, if you guys have any questions, concerns, complaints, anything, I will be free and glad to help in the comments. I'm always willing to look out for you guys and help as much as possible. So after you get into your server, if you don't have a clothing menu or anything and you're brand new, you can just of course it's raining. Oh look, I already have the shirt on. Excuse me. If you don't have V menu or anything to put the clothing on, I have a clothing menu, but just for this video, just to close it up, I will be using V menu. It's really easy to get. You just type in V menu download on Google. There's a bunch on GitHub. I can probably put in the description as well. And you can just, you'll find if you're brand new to this and you never imported anything, your shirt will be 16. 16 is 0. And from then on, because 1 through 16 are the GTA based local clothes. And then after your custom clothing will be more local clothes. But this is my custom shirt that I just showed you guys and how to put it in. And from that, I think that we are all done here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope that this works for you guys. I mean, it should, but you know, anything can happen, obviously. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, please subscribe. Hit me up in the comments and let me know how it's going. If anything's wrong, I can make another video and update it. I doubt it will though, because this is, like I said, the greatest, best, fastest possible way to do this. So I appreciate you guys so much, and you guys have a good one. Peace.